Hello YouTube, this is Bowtied Media, and today I have a review of Sabai's Where It All Began EP. Sabai is a relatively new artist that has signed this EP with Monster Cat, and he is so new that 4 of his 5 songs that are currently on Spotify are just this EP. He created one song in 2019 that was not on Monster Cat, and then the rest of the 4 have been on Monster Cat, so he's a quite relatively new artist. Sabai works primarily in the genre of future bass, and specifically the melodic future bass that's a lot more commercial friendly and pop friendly and just brighter in general. This being his first project, it is 4 songs and 13 minutes long. The first song on the track list is Million Days with Huang featuring Claire Ridgely, and this is my favorite from the EP and the first that was actually released as a single. Sabai uses a lot of vocal chops with some pretty basic commercial drops. And with that, this is probably the most unique track, which is why it is my favorite on the EP. After the first drop, the song becomes kind of lifeless and hits a lot of the basic commercial or poppy tropes that come along with making melodic future bass, to some extent. The song just kind of packs a little bit of a punch in the first half and then almost rescinds that when it comes to the last half of the track. But regardless, it is still a fun, bright, poppy track that isn't really supposed to be this deep, emotional one, I don't believe. And it's found the most commercial success so far of anything on the project and the most potential for further commercial success. So in terms of how this track is for Sabai, it was a huge success. Sabai is quite similar to Galantis for me, where if you were to look at it critically, the music isn't the best stuff in the world. It's not super thought-provoking or deeply emotional, and not that like all songs have to be, but they're pretty clear-cut basic tracks from both Sabai and Galantis. But that's sort of what they're going for. They're going for this lighthearted, uplifting, put it on in the background, kind of create a good vibe style of music. And for that, Sabai kind of fits his, I wouldn't say niche, because it's a lot of tracks, a lot of electronic music / poppy artists do that quite a bit, but he fits that category quite well. Up next on the EP is Save You with Kermode, and this is easily the most forgettable track on the EP. There really isn't anything happening, and it's not unique in any sense compared with any one of his tracks on this EP or music that sounds similar to it. And the song sort of just dies out. It doesn't really have a coherent dissolve or fade out, it just sort of ends. It's a little weird. But seriously though, that's all I really have to say about the song. I just listened to it and listened to it a bunch of times, and I don't remember what it sounds like. It's pretty forgettable. And third is Broken Glass featuring Mercé. And this track is pretty similar to the rest on the EP. It starts with a light piano intro with the female vocalist and goes into the melodic future bass drop with vocal chops. You know, this song and this EP in particular reminds me a lot of commercial electronic music from the early 2010s, where it was really light and bright and had a vocal kind of distortion fade at the end and was all the rave at all the festivals. And this just reminds me of that, and maybe not in a good way. It feels a little outdated at this point. And finally, Memories featuring Claire Ridgely. It is the worst mixed track of the entire project, and it sounds just like the rest, and that's all I have to say about it. So it's interesting to think about, where do I rate the song? Do I do it in comparison to it being Sabai's first ever project, or do I in comparison to what is coming out normally? And I think I need to look at it everything encompassed wise. So thinking about it in the sense of everything else, comparing it to every other project out there, because you're only going to grow if your stuff starts out this way and it gets higher. If I'm just saying as a first project, this is like a 10 out of 10 or 8 out of 10, that kind of destroys the meaning of the ranking. Each of the tracks are relatively boring and menial, and they're kind of just reaching that commercial appeal, and that's okay. It's okay to make radio-friendly music and want to make music for the radio. But in terms of my rating, Sabai's Where It All Began EP scores a 4. But thank you guys so much for watching. I have been Bowtied Media. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, let me know why in the comment section below. And if you want to see more content like this, subscribe if you want to see more of that. And if you want to leave a comment on what other stuff I should review, I'm going back and looking at a lot of the earlier 2020 stuff. So let me know what kind of 2020 things you want me to look at. So I will see you guys in another video.